All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cycle, the podcast, not the reacts, but we've been appreciating you guys coming out to watch the reacts, but this is the podcast. So it's right after San Antonio, so that is what we're talking about. We're talking about recaps tonight. It's going to be
First
fun.
recap of the 2025 season.
Yes.
Now that we've had the first big event that pretty much everyone who's anyone is at, gonna take some time, look at the scores, look at some of the sub captions. We've got the breakdowns here. Courtesy of the Core Clash app.
Yes.
I don't think we've ever plugged this app for free, but
No.
if you guys have not been on it, it's a great little app. It's pretty much like independently developed.
Yep.
It's awesome for all the information and breakdowns and everything in a super presentable way. I highly support you go and, highly suggest you go and support this guy.
It was developed by a mellophone player from the Boston Crusaders.
Cool.
I know that because Amy marched with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Core Clash is a great app. If whoever's out there, if you're watching us, we would love to maybe have you on and talk about it. But until then, we're going to talk about recaps. But before we get into recaps,
housekeeping.
Got to do the housekeeping stuff. Obviously, if you're watching the show, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Do all those things.
Leave a comment, right, with your opinion.
Yes. I want to give a special thank you. A couple of weeks ago, we finally hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers, became monetized. And for those of you maybe watching this episode for the first time and don't know this, one of the things that we set out to do with this podcast was to create a scholarship fund for members for the following year. So we donate 50% of everything that we earn from you just tuning in and watching the podcast or watching our reacts or anything you're doing with us on YouTube, or if you're donating through our Patreon, which Patreon's right here. You can go donate there now. We have 2 donors already on Patreon. So between those 2 people and the amount of time that you have been spending with us here on YouTube, we have already raised over $150 toward a scholarship next year. Yeah. That's incredible, right? And that's in the first
brief amount of time.
That's in the first 3 weeks of us being able to do these things. So if you're out there and you're watching, thank you so much for coming back and watching. Keep watching. If you don't want to donate actual money, all you have to do is just keep enjoying the content, and you're going to be
share it
giving
with your
back.
Friends, engage with it,
and
like you said, you're going to be giving back to the community that we all love in here.
Yep, absolutely. And then we will have maybe toward the December-January timeframe at the end of this year, we will have more about how that scholarship is going to be rolled out.
Yeah.
And if you want to be part of the process of that scholarship, because that's the one unique thing about the scholarship is it's crowd-raised money and funded through the Patreon. You can come on and have the ability to be part of the community that decides how those scholarships are going to be funded, who's going to get those scholarships when we start having applicants and all those things. So if you want to be part of that really unique process, head on over to our Patreon and donate the money. Almost all that money goes towards those scholarships, with a little bit, obviously, for, all the housekeeping.
For managing the show. This is a lot of work and a lot of equipment.
Yeah. Well, not just this part, but it's like, the taxes and what Patreon takes and everything else too.
Right.
We make very little, if nothing.
Not that much.
Yeah.
We're doing this for the passion of it.
It's the love of the game. Absolutely.
Yeah. And for the fame. And,
and
glory.
Obviously the fame.
Right, but not for the monetary gain.
Yep, absolutely. And again, if you're watching this too, Robbie and I are current marching members. We march with the Buccaneers. We will be at finals this year. So if you do see us wandering around at finals, come over, say hello, shake our hands.
Picture or whatever.
Yeah. I would love to take pictures.
I know,
Can I get a picture with you? Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hit us up on the Instagram. All right, enough of that. The housekeeping stuff's over. Let's get into the reason why you tuned in. All right.
So, San Antonio recaps. First off, I think at rehearsal today, I was like, you see the recaps? I was like, I could not wait to talk about it.
Yeah. I was very excited.
Very cool and interesting stuff happening this year. Let's do I would say maybe broad overview, talk about the big things everyone's are talking about, and then we'll probably work in more detail from bottom to top, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So first off,
can we talk about my favorite thing?
Yeah.
Can we talk about my favorite thing? The fact that Blue Devils are in 4th place for the first time since 2005.
Is it 2005 is the first time?
The first time that they have placed below 3rd in any event is 2005. Yeah. The last time they placed below
2 decades.
The last time they placed below 3rd, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, is at finals. It was 1992. I believe that was the information I found. Now, I don't know how accurate that is because I didn't go through all the data.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, get in the comments and let me know. But it's been almost 30 years since 32 years, whatever it is, since Blue Devils have gone into finals and not played and not medaled, basically.
Yeah.
Which is insane, right?
Right. And above them, I mean, I think I was not sure if they were ever gonna get there. But SCV placed above them, right? By pretty close race,
Yeah, it
but
was
they
very close.
pulled it out. And there was like a more than a point gap to start the year, so that's
That's
impressive.
pretty cool. Yep.
And then, honestly, big gap away from either of those. Boston and Blue Coats duking out for the top spot.
Crazy.
With Boston finally taking that lead, and I don't know.
Because Blue Coats beat
I'm not
them
sure.
earlier
When's
in
the
the season.
time? Yeah.
So now nobody's undefeated this season.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's a cool
Which is
thing too.
great. I like having a season where no one's
I like
undefeated.
it when we're duking it out, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
hold on, before we this is a really cool thing that we have for the first time ever. We have a guest director on the
Yeah.
show. Our buddy Jack Hopi, who's here, who's also our fact checker. So I think
Yep.
he has.
And is media. What's your official title? Media manager, media team head.
I am the media manager of the Reading Buccaneers.
Okay, media
and
manager.
The fact check of the day is 1994 or 1993. The Blue Devils got 4th place with the
Okay.
Donna as portraits. The very next year, they won in 1994.
Okay.
Gotcha. So
there you go.
93. So
I
again,
agree.
over 30 years.
Yeah,
since
over
it's been
there.
there.
That's ridiculous. Thank you, Jack.
Right.
You're-
Yeah. Thank
you're
you.
the
Thank
best.
you, fact checker,
Yeah.
Jack.
Thank you, fact checker. So, all right. So, those are the big things I think they're the really big pieces of it. And some of the recaps, some of the captions are interesting when we talk about
Very
the top
interesting.
four,
Yeah,
top four, top
some-
five. So,
Across the board, there's some crazy
there's some interesting
caption
things.
stuff.
So, where do you want to start? You want to start?
Let's
bottom?
start. Let's start. Yeah, let's start near the bottom and work our way up to the
Okay.
top.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's start.
There's a fun race at the bottom.
Yeah, I would say maybe like
Let's just let's just start at 12, and we'll sprinkle in
Sure.
what's happening down there, right?
right. So yeah, San Antonio is always interesting because it's a kind of a snapshot of what finals could look like.
Yes, very good.
And it's especially a time where cores, can either start feeling good and like they're putting in the right work because they make finals at San Antonio or they place in the top 12, or they can go, crap, we got 13th or 14th at San
Right.
Antonio.
Yeah.
We could still make finals, but we got to look at what's working and what's not, and what can we rework.
Yeah, making the active changes that you need to make.
Yeah.
I will say this year is an interesting year because looking at the scores alone, right? It seems to me that there is very likely that it's going to be difficult for Madison or Spirit, because they're in 13th and 14th, to clean a 2-point gap that it's right there right now.
Yeah.
1.5
Well,
points.
yeah, 1.5 or
That's a lot. And Colts have
I would say Scouts is probably the only one that's maybe a finals contender still.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, there's, Spirit's got a 79 and Colts in 12th has got an 82. That's just not a gap you're going to clean.
No.
That's not a gap you're going to close over a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and unless they're coming out with some new changes that are really going
Right.
to change the face of what they're doing, which I really don't see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Not to that doesn't mean that they're not good shows to watch. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're just scoring wise, they're not up there. And
Yeah.
Colts and Knights are even a good spread too. 12-11 is a pretty solid spread right now.
Yeah.
So that's
While we're talking about it, may I say, very excited to have Knights
Yeah.
back in 11th place in the finals range.
Yes. Yeah.
And seemingly probably going to stay there.
I think they're safe.
I don't think
I
they're.
think they are.
I would not be surprised if this was what finals placement is in this range,
yeah.
right? With
Yeah, I can see
Knights
that.
in 11th and Colts in 12th,
Yeah.
right? That seems pretty.
Yeah.
Seems like a probably a safe bet based on the score spreads, right?
Yeah,
now.
I agree, and it looks like they're just trading captions back and forth pretty much too.
Yeah.
Nobody's really too far or above. There's no part of their organizations that are really shining or failing. So that does feel like a very comfortable say to go, hey, look, these we're gonna. Now I will say this: Colts and Knights have both very unique shows in a lot of different perspectives.
Definitely. They got the brunt of a lot of hours in the internet's criticisms about their uniform
did.
design
If
choices.
you watched our uniform episode, they definitely
Yeah.
beat 'em up
But
a little bit.
kind of birds of a feather,
Yeah.
right? Weird, bizarre uniforms. It's also funny because both of their uniforms were leaked on the exact same day for some of us that were, are in like the Terror Drum Corps community and have access to that.
Mm-hmm.
So to have both of those pretty out there uniforms leak, and then to be to have the season roll around and to have them be pretty solid shows,
Yeah.
they're kind of birds of a feather.
It's wild to watch both of those shows, and from a visuals perspective, not moving or marching or the color guard, just from a uniform and a design perspective, they make me feel feelings that I don't want to feel, right? But when I
What does
listen,
that mean?
what,
Like
it's
anger?
no, it's just like I look at it and I go, what am I looking at right now? Because the uniforms are so divisive, right? They're
very out there.
they're very out there. But when I
Very
listen,
bold.
but when I listen to both of their horn lines and even both of their drum lines and watch some of the color guard work that's in there, they have beautiful shows. They're gorgeous
Great shows.
They're great shows. And I watch, and it almost feels like it doesn't. It's not. The visual package is not offering me the same emotional connection as the audible package is offering me. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Am I
I
saying
think
that
so.
the way?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I think Colts does a better job of having their visual package deliver
yes.
some feelings.
I agree with
Right?
that too.
It's just they might not be completely lined up with the feelings of the,
Yeah,
the music
it's
ensemble.
very interesting. Like the whole show is very interesting. I like it. It's very unique.
It feels like this is gonna be a deep cut, but like there are some like video games or like pieces of art online that are like designed to just be like just hyper sensory. It's just like it's almost like deep fried memes.
Yeah, right.
I've seen those. It's
Yes,
just like egregious like colors and noises, and everything looks kind of ugly, but it's like an assault on the senses. It's like purposeful.
Right.
Colts visual design of their uniform and color palette feels like that.
Yes.
Like a hypersensitive or hypersensory, just like overload of color and shapes and
Yes.
things.
It's almost made to feel uncomfortable in a way. Yeah.
Which I think is
it's cool.
part of their show theme, right?
Right.
I think that part does fit.
Yeah, I agree with that too. On the opposite side of that, Blue Knights has one of the most beautiful openers I think of the year. It's gorgeous. The first minute and a half of it, from a soundscape and a horn line perspective, it's
Super
beautiful.
like ethereal, very
Yes.
atmospheric.
Yes, very. But I just keep looking at those orange uniforms with a crappy pipe on it, and I go,
Why would you do this?
you could be 2 places higher right now. I think if it just wasn't for that, it
You
does.
close the gap and catch troopers if you just put them in a decent uniform.
Yeah. It is. I really think it distracts from how good they are
just
performing
like Stars
right now.
last year.
Yes.
You watch
Yes.
it. You watch it the whole time. I mean, it's like I don't know if I've used this analogy before, but it's like looking at a beautiful painting that's got a big smudge in the right corner, right?
Yeah.
You look at it, and you can try your best to appreciate how beautiful the painting is and the artistry that went into it and the hard work. But the whole time you're going to be thinking, wow, yeah, look at this color choice. Sure wish that smudge wasn't there.
I have another analogy that might be right on point, and tell me if this resonates with you.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the song "Teenage Dirtbag" by Weenus? Okay. If you've ever heard that song,
Yes,
and then you're like,
yes.
wow,
It's first of all, it's Wheatus.
Wheatus.
Not Weenus.
What, I didn't say Weenus. I said Wheatus.
I heard Weenus as well.
I'm sorry, my bad. If you listen to that song, you're like, oh, the beginning of this is really beautiful. That woman has a beautiful voice, and then you realize it's an old bald white dude singing that part, and you're like, what just happened to me right now? That's the way I feel when I watch a show. I'm like, this is so gorgeous and beautiful. And then I look at and like I close my eyes. I close my eyes and I'm like, this must be the most gorgeous looking atmosphere thing. And then I open it and I go, hold on a minute.
Why are you all dressed like that?
Yeah, why is that the choice, right? So it
truly, yeah. And like, may I say also, like this year feels like, especially if they get back into finals, I think it will feel like somewhat of a triumphant design year for Knights, right? Because whenever you fall out of finals,
come back.
Like Scouts last year, right? You really fight and you really try and find that show and that core that will bring you back to finals.
Yeah.
It feels like it could be potentially, one of those momental sort of moments.
Yeah.
They're playing away for their ballad, which was like, our version of Band of Brothers, right?
Oh,
or like
okay.
our lot song that we would play every time.
Cool,
And everyone
cool.
would always get emotional during it because it's really just beautiful piece of
Yeah.
music. They're playing that for their ballad,
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We were watching it, and I was suddenly like, I had like an
emotional reaction
flashback.
to it.
Yeah, I was
right.
like, what's happening? Where am I?
Yeah.
Like it feels like that. It feels like it's got all the design chops to be that sort of great return to form of sorts. Yeah. The horn line sounds dynamite.
They sound
May
really
I
good.
say, in proud alumnus, as happened when I marched, the horn line is slightly outscoring their placement right now. They got a 10th place horn line.
Okay, so that's good.
Right.
So
with Pat Crest in 11th place, by the way. Good for you guys.
Listen, I told my pick, if you watched our episode, my pick for 12th place this year, which is not going to happen at this point, was Pat Crest, right? Because they have been up and coming. They've been doing really good things. So I'm not surprised.
One of these days.
I'm not surprised that Pat Crest is doing so well in one of their departments. I don't know. I didn't take a look at their other departments, but it doesn't. makes total sense
back and
to me.
forth.
I mean, there's a couple. Yeah, the general effect is pretty low, and yeah, well, that's wild. Yeah, I mean, their horn line is really what's keeping them where they are right now. So it's the same thing. So I'm not surprised by their horn line's position on that, but hopefully the Blue Knights are obviously doing what they need to do what that is. So
Yeah.
So I think 11 and 12 are pretty locked in, right?
I think they probably
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
I
So-
would guess. You said maybe Scouts. No,
Right.
they're not.
No.
That's a point and a half gap.
It's
Probably
disappointing. I would love to see Scouts hop back in, but
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening at this
Yeah,
point.
I haven't seen. I'm not sure I've seen the Scouts show fully, but it's
I've seen bits and
I've heard,
pieces of
it's
it.
just not. It's not quite the familiar, accessible GE machine that last year's show was.
Yeah. I agree. I think they were trying
Which
for
is-
it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of really cool parts in it. I enjoyed a good bit of
and
it.
it's. We've seen it firsthand in lots of courses that we've marched, and lots of course throughout DCI history. It's really hard to recapture the magic of a show like that.
Yeah, it really is. And I also think that some of it's just a content thing. I think they're playing. I think the horn line played a little safe in what they were playing this year. It's good. It sounds very good, but it's just not overly difficult, so they're not getting credit for what they're doing.
All right.
All
Let's-
right.
Anyway.
One thing I want to mention
Oh,
is
go for
that
it.
over the past couple years, this has been one of the biggest gaps between 12 and 13 at San Antonio. Usually they're all packed, but a 1.5 gap at this point between
big.
12
That's a
and
lot of
13
padding.
is a lot of yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, that's why. I think it was a pretty unique. That's why I said I looked at it and was like, I know. Usually this is a great. I like this show because it really showcases the battle zone for 12th.
Yeah.
Right? I think we talked about that last year.
Oh, last year, yeah.
in
Last year was
the
like a
Broken Arrow.
bloodbath.
Yes.
The 11 to 15 place were like.
It was awesome. It was so much fun to watch. This year, I
Yeah.
kind of feel like it's just kind of locked in.
Yeah, right. Which,
But
I mean,
it almost feels like every two placements. Like right now, Troops and Cavaliers.
yeah.
They feel very much.
You can usually break things down into like brackets.
Yes, correct.
Of sorts,
And
right?
it feels-
Sometimes people are in their own brackets. Sometimes they're groups of like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
you know,
right now
where
it's
like-
just twos. Right now, that's all it really feels like. Right now, it's brackets
Yeah.
of 2.
There's maybe
There could
pretty
be some
close
shifting.
to stars.
There could-
yeah.
yeah.
So do you want to?
Yeah.
Anything else on Colts, Blue Knights?
Nah, I think.
Yeah.
we're
Let's
good.
move
I'm
up.
good.
I feel like I might bracket Troops, Cavies, and Stars
Really,
together.
you put stars in that
less
bracket.
than less than a point spread between those three.
I mean, yeah, I
think Stars is probably going to keep ahead, but like if I was them, and so
some of
here are the scores on here, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
Troopers got an 84.6.
Mm-hmm.
Cavies got an 84.8, so only like a point,
Yeah,
813, so
yeah.
a point 213
right,
gap between them, and then Stars got an 85.25.
which is almost
So,
five
yeah,
tenths.
Yeah,
4.5 tenths.
Yeah, right, just
Right.
under half a point.
So you're right. So they are pretty close.
Yeah, it's close enough that if I was Blue Stars, I would not be feeling completely comfortable
Right.
in that 8th place
Here's the
position.
thing. Although looking at the recaps too, if we're just going to jump, we're going to use this as a bracket, right?
Yeah,
Blue Stars, I feel like there's some very I'll use the word divisive again. Music analysis stuff going on between the music percussion. Like there's a judge that put Blue Stars in 12th and another judge that put them in 8th. So like that's a pretty four placements
Yeah.
difference
Oh my
between
God.
judges. So watching all these shows,
yeah.
we were just talking about it earlier. Blue Stars show, it's just a ton of fun.
This is the first. Today was when we were
Yeah.
watching through some of the recaps. The first time I saw their show,
It's awesome.
I love it.
It's a ton of fun. It's so fun.
We bagged on the uniforms a little bit, but
Yeah.
I must say, one, I think they look better
They
from
do look better.
from field level.
Yep.
And two, they still are kind of dumb uniforms, but like if you're gonna make your uniform a little dumb and a little loud, make the show a little dumb and a little loud and a little
it's
silly,
awesome.
right?
Yes.
And very technically well executed.
Yeah. I
Right?
totally
Stars,
agree.
the talent level of Stars has not
Yes.
decreased at all from last year. We were really impressed with their brass and how they move and played last year, and this year's no different, right?
Yeah.
So it's it's a silly show. It's fun. It's super campy.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like if I was marching there, I'd be having a great time.
And that is why I think they'll stay right there because it does feel like the members are having a good time with it.
Yes.
Right.
They're
And
given lots of
buy-in-
moments to perform.
Buy-in is such a fun thing. When you're doing fun things on the field and you can buy in and everybody has that vibe, you're going to, in my opinion, you're going to place better and probably higher than a core that's maybe doing things even a little more technically difficult, but there's just like nothing on the face. You know what I mean, they're just lost. And I'll talk about that in the Crown section because I kind of felt that way watching Crown just at San Antonio. But anyway, so I think Blue Stars, super fun show.
Great fun. Yeah, they do have. If we're looking at the recaps, there's another one on here. I think it might be with Crown. One of the biggest disconnects between content and achievement in a subcaption I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
Blue Stars Color Guard got 5th place in content and 9th in achievement.
Wow. So they just had a bad night.
I think this is what some of us, when we were watching earlier, we were talking about. Apparently, again, this is from a ignorant Hornline perspective, but from a reliable color guard source, that the Blue Stars apparently consistently writes their color guard book to be way harder and not less achievable than it should be. Gotcha. So apparently, I think that makes sense.
They're just so again, the same thing, right? I do think that when you choose content, right, and then ask your members to live up to it, then you have a place to grow, right? Yeah. You have an ability to move, right?
Not only within the year, but for future years.
Yeah, for future years, right?
Because even if it's a little dirtier, you have a good chance of
if you have members,
some prospective color member sees it and goes, that's cool.
Right.
I want to be able to try that.
And if you have returning members the following year, they're in a skill set ability they're being stronger, right? So you have that too. But there's some that one color guard judge is wild. She put Crown in 10th for content, but dude. 5th in achievement.
That was the other one. That was the other.
That's wild.
Literally, Crown and Stars are like 4 places apart and just have swapped like the sub captions.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's nuts. That's one of the biggest splits I've ever seen.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. We don't want to get too far off there. But anyway,
Stars is probably safe where they are.
I think that they are too.
Now,
and
Cabbies and Troopers.
Here's what I'll say. Yeah. I think Troopers, after watching the Cabby show, I don't know that Troopers have enough in their show to clean to be able to get ahead of them. And I think Cabbies have enough in their show, content-wise, to be able to clean up just a little bit and stay ahead of Troopers the entire season. I think that's
begrudgingly. Cavaliers is a good show this year.
Yeah, I liked it.
So
much better.
I mean,
so much better than last year's
crazy.
show.
I said this while we were watching, but I'm like, the more I sit on it, the more I'm like, I don't think that Cavi should have even made finals last year. The show was just.
It was
just.
Rough. It was
just exactly.
It was very hard.
Just tough to watch, and like the whole time you're watching, and you're like, I really want this to be better than it is.
Yeah, I think everything.
Something was just not right.
Yeah,
behind the scenes.
I said this all the entire time last year. I thought that their sound development was terrible last year. It was the worst in DCI, personally.
Yeah,
their whole sound escape and the miking and the way they did everything was atrocious.
Yeah,
and
visually just looked like no one was like buying in.
Yeah, there was
lots of like just mistakes. It's exactly. Yeah, it felt like a show the members could not buy into.
And this year's show definitely feels much better.
Yes, you can watch a 5-second. I watched like a 10-second Instagram reel in it, and I was like, "Oh, Cavies are staying in finals."
Oh, and
way better.
Let's talk about the craziest thing about the Cavaliers: the horse that wandered onto their practice field yesterday.
Oh,
did you see that?
I heard about this.
It's on their Instagram story. It's hilarious. There's just a random horse somebody's just filming on.
Did it have a saddle?
Nothing. It's just a horse, and it went right onto the field and was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna march." So it was
feels
wild.
Like appropriate for Cavaliers for some reason.
Just wild. So it was really cool. Apparently, that was nobody's horse. It was just a random wild horse. Welcome to Texas.
See, that it actually probably would have been the most appropriate for Troopers.
Yeah. Yes. So. Oh, how awesome would that have been if Troopers had just a random horse? Oh my God, that would have been incredible.
Yeah.
Talk about an omen, right?
Yeah.
But listen, same thing with. So we talk about Trooper show. Segue.
Yeah.
And I think Troopers are where they are right now because they've had good members over the last 2-3 years. They've really bought into the story plot and everything else that's going on.
They want to march Troopers and want to
they want to be part of that thing.
Strong identity.
There's lots of really cool Trooper stuff in there. The Starburst is in there, which is really, really neat. It's very iconic. And it's really cool, but I really feel like the design of the show, I feel like I wanted a better third. I wanted a better trilogy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's sort of it's a little bit of a Terminator trilogy.
Yes. Yeah. It's very much.
When you get the first one, you're like, wow, that was really good. And the second one, you're like, wow, it was even better than the third one. You're like, that was fine.
It was a
guess.
Back to the Future thing. Like, oh, they made the time machine have a train. Okay. Like, like okay.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah. It's like, like it has the pieces that you want.
Yeah, it's
right?
not a bad show by any means.
It's not a bad show.
But just with the trajectory the Trooper has been on, and with the advertisement of like, this is,
the final sunset and all that kind of good stuff.
When you have a trilogy, you want the third one to be the biggest, right, most exciting, right? You want it to be a Return of the King or Return of the Jedi, or something like that.
Exactly. And I understand what they did. I understand what they were trying to do, right? They went to this hero thing in the first one, and then even the second one was this dark, and then like defeating the devil and all that kind of good stuff. And then you were like, okay, so they went in a more airy and lighter way, and everything about their uniforms is more airy and light, and it's very much a here we are, and there's a casket at the end of the show. I
it's
guess
got this sort of like this like finality,
right? Like
is it supposed to be like telling the story of like a
is it the guy that defeated the devil last time, and now he's finally done?
He's dead. Yeah, it's an old man Logan style.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Where
if you were
finally done.
If you're marching troopers or know the storyline, we'd love to know. I'll throw it in the comments.
Yeah.
Because I'd be really curious to maybe read the prologue or whatever. What's the end of a book thing?
Epilogue.
Yeah. The epilogue to like why the casket's there and what's going on. I'd really like to.
Yeah, a little bit more of an insider view.
Yeah. I'd like to understand it a little bit better.
I got it's me
the
again.
Man behind the curtain. I love
This
it.
is why
I got a
research
brief
man.
rundown earlier today, actually, or yesterday maybe, and it's actually a 4-part series starting with Voracious, which is the oil one.
Okay.
So it's the guy finding oil, getting rich, lassoing the sun, defeating the devil, and now he's dead.
So it's a tetralogy.
Tetralogy?
Sure.
Is that a word? Wow.
Yeah, I think it's
so
like duology, trilogy, tetralogy.
Sure. Yeah, like you said it like I knew that. Like, I have no idea. You're so much smarter than
me. That's why you keep me on the podcast.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I keep you here is I need SAT level words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does make sense. So it is just There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. This is
literally.
Was this their Rocky IV? Are they fighting the Russians in this one?
So the casket is for the Cold War because it's finally over because they stopped it by beating Ivan Drago.
Mr. Gorbachev, bring down that wall. Exactly. All right. Anyway, so Troopers, it's a good show. It's a good show. I enjoy it.
It's a good show. Yeah,
but
I think it's like you said, it doesn't quite have the design elements to have it. I think pull much further ahead.
I think honestly, looking at where they are right now, I don't think Troopers, Cavies, or Blue Stars are going to change.
Probably not.
If there was a change, I think Cavaliers could jump Blue Stars. That's it.
Maybe if they cleaned up.
And that's only if the Blue Stars don't clean up. But I think their horn line is just dynamite right now.
Their horn line is great. And
they sound
another sort of weird a mismatch of overall placement versus subcaption. Cavaliers got 15th in brass.
Cavaliers did?
Cavaliers got 14th in content, 15th in achievement, 15th overall.
That's ridiculous. Like
I listened to them harsh. They got lower than Slanta.
Yeah,
and Packcrest.
Come on, that show is not. I mean, that's from one music brass person.
Yeah, which wild because we talked about how rough Cavi's brass was last year. I think the brass one's way better.
It's so much better.
Yeah, their brass feature, it's got some dirt in it, but it's readable. It's really cool.
I could see them being ahead of. I could see them be behind Colts or Knights or even Troopers, but not behind Madison and Spirit of Atlanta. What?
They're putting out a pretty good horn line and horn book this year. They're moving and playing decently.
Yeah, I thought so. They're a little dirtier.
I'd be very curious to if.
I would love to hear a tape.
Exactly.
I would love to hear a tape on that. Like, what is your basing on this? It's wild.
I just want to be able.
To be fair, that same judge puts content in for Phantom. They put them in 7th, which I think is ridiculous too. But achievement in
the brass category, I'm very glad. The brass category is insane.
Yeah, it's very weird,
which is great to talk about for you brass guys. But there's a lot where you're like, what?
Yeah, I was like, okay, man, whatever you're listening to.
All right. Anything else on this bracket?
No, I don't think so.
Troopers.
I can't wait to get into the next bracket, which is just one core.
One core,
which is just Mandarins
on its own.
Yeah, doing its thing.
Pretty much, absolutely no way. if these scores are to be trusted, they're going to go in either direction.
And here's the thing: every judge put them in exactly the place that they should be. They're all basically set. They put them in 7th place.
All 7th, like a few like percussion, and therefore music analysis was a little lower.
Color Garden 5th, but that was that same crazy
brass.
Judge.
Here's something. Okay, now that we're here,
we're
talking about the brass category. Mandarins got 6th in brass.
Okay,
and they beat Carolina Crown in achievement, which I want to say is the only time Mandarin's Brass has beat Carolina Crown in anything. Listen, has to be.
There's a lot of in at least
besides
the last,
like Division 1 times.
In the last, I would say probably close to 20 years now. Pretty close to
maybe more,
maybe 15 years. There's not a lot of people that have beaten Carolina Crown's Brass
in anything.
In any of those years.
Yeah. Right, to have Mandarins.
So that's a pretty
and
neat.
It's only by 0.05.
Right.
But like,
and it's only one show. But it's also that's pretty. If I were the Mandarins right now, I'd be hyped about it.
Yeah.
There's no way the brass line didn't see that and went, "That's right.
Yeah.
You're welcome."
Exactly.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Jim.
In nights in my year, we had like one show where we were like 0.2 behind Devils that year.
Yeah.
And we were like, "What's up?"
Yeah, exactly. You're like, we're coming. Yeah, this is what we do, baby. Like, you need.
You're.
I feel like you need a good. You need a good. What do you call that? Like something to grab onto throughout the season. Something to motivate you to keep you
little
going.
Victories, right?
That's a great way of putting it. You need small victories and somebody else to give you those victories, right? Because you can only generate so many within a core.
Yeah.
Right? You can only generate so many within your little pocket of people and be like, look, we got so good today, guys. Oh, okay, great. Like, but what are the judges saying? What's a group of people recognizing
and it is,
that thing?
it is. I'm sure both of us have had this happen during seasons. It is demoralizing when you feel like you're getting little victories and you go out and get judged and they're like, it doesn't show up on the score sheet.
And then you're just like, what else could I possibly do right now?
Yeah, I really thought you made progress with that.
Right. And that's always the hardest thing with judges from week to week is that you get judges that go, wow, we really need you to be doing this and doing this and doing that. And then everybody goes, oh, okay. And they make all those changes. And then they go to the next judge and we go like, why did you guys do that? Because the last judge told me to do that.
What do you guys want from me?
Right. So I think it's indicative of the brass staff to be able to have to look at, or any staff to look at it and go, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, right? And we're going to look at pockets or trends in comments and go, this is what we need to see, and I think that's what is probably happening with Mandarins right now. They're just doing all the right things. They're cleaning all the right stuff. It's a very enjoyable show.
It's a cool show. Good design, solid.
Yeah,
right.
I love it.
What you would expect from that 7th place core, that sort of top of the second DVD to use outdated language.
Yeah.
In what is, if we haven't said already, a very, I think, competitively strong year.
Yeah, I think
overall.
So too. Yeah.
Right. I know we said it last year. Yeah.
I think
we said it last year, but it's true again this year, which I couldn't be more excited for.
Yeah.
More cores are pushing their members and pushing show design and doing hard, engaging shows and having their members achieve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an exciting time to be a drum corps fan.
I agree with that. And I think that there are, like you said, more cores. I always felt like the top 4 were always giving us kind of the best of the best. Now I really feel like the top 6 to 8 are really the best that the activity has to offer. Really, they really does. Like Mandarins have really great shows the last couple of years. And even like, we talk about Troop and Stars and everybody else, they're just one sub caption away from being part of that conversation too.
Yes.
Right. And like I said, Mandarins is doing great stuff this year. When I look at a show title and when I look at certain things that go on, I go, the first thing, I think we all do it, right, as drum corps fans, so we all look at it and go, what do I want to see when I hear this title, right? What is it? It's the If It Must Fall.
If I Must Fall.
If I Must Fall. There are parts throughout the show where people are literally just falling down.
Constantly.
I love it. It's such a
great... What is great, because if you ever fall during a show, you're like, I meant to do that.
Yeah. Hey, Judge, you're welcome.
That's GE right there.
It is one of the coolest, it's purposeful motifs to maintain inside of a show and be very deliberate about it. And they're doing it exactly the right way that I would do. It's not just everybody just going, oh no, and falling down. They're like in big, powerful hit moments, like 1 and 2 people from the horn line are just
it's well
falling
spaced
down.
out, right? It's visible.
You can tell that it's purposeful, that somebody's falling down, then somebody else does it, and they just hop right back up and they go back to playing. It's really, really cool. It's just a really neat motif that kind of carry throughout, and it has like the high level thought things, thought provoking. Like if I must fall, it's not always about literally falling down, but it's cool that there's literal falling down in it too.
Yeah,
so
sometimes you just got to be literal with your show tells.
I think it's very, very cool. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Did we cough on podcasts now?
Listen, I was sitting there, I was listening to you talk, I could feel it in my throat, and I was like, I'm not gonna be able to talk for much longer if I don't clear the system out. Here's a fun numbers thing that I looked through the subcash and see things interesting. This is just how numbers and averages work out. Blue Stars so for their color guard, they got 6th in content and 6th in achievement and 5th overall.
What?
Because on either side of them are Crown and Blue Stars, which have the completely screwed up and mismatched content and achievement.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Crown and Stars
because
were both given really
super high and then really low.
Yeah.
Content or achievement scores for both of them.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Everything else though, Mandarins is another one of the groups that pretty much every subcaption is
they're right there.
6th, 7th, or 8th, right? There's one 9th percussion. I think Mandarin's percussion is probably the weakest musically, the weakest like section. But even then,
they're still good.
Get in 8th place when your core's at 9th. Like that's
Well, they're in 7th, right? 7th place.
Sorry, when your core's in 7th.
Yeah.
That one placement down, not the end of the world.
And they are a 1.7 away from Crown right now. So I just don't see them. And they're also almost 2 points away from
nice, like,
from Blue Stars. They have a
buffer.
4-point gap. Gap on either.
They're just like
them.
Well, it's like when you see
they're just chilling. So that's pretty wild.
It's like when you see a big race or something, marathon runners, and you see a big pack of the people in the lead and a big pack of the slower people, and there's just one dude in the center, like,
all right, man,
medium pace.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's just cruising. He's running his own race. So at this point, I think that's what Mandarins are doing. They're running their own race. All right, so let's get into top six stuff. Yeah,
which I think are pretty solidly divided in the brackets of 2.
Yes,
I think,
and I think that each one of those groups have the ability to flip. Each one of those brackets of 2 have the ability to flip before the end of the season.
Yeah, they're all pretty close.
Yeah, I don't think any one of the 2 groups in those brackets are going to move into the next bracket.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, if these gaps are to be believed,
I will make that. I don't want to say like a guarantee, but I will make that better. I will make a better assessment of it once Atlanta comes, because I feel like San Antonio is a big regional. And there's this. We already talked about. There's a bunch of weird judging things that are in there. So let's see what happens when they go to
regionals and
regionals.
The other regionals.
But the other thing too is there's a lot of groups that are very notorious for changing big parts of their show, the end of their show. Like I could tell you right now, I can already see where Crown is going to put the other Crown into, because everybody thinks that big like wavy fiery thing.
I think it is the Crown set, but that's not to say they will put another they're
going to put the normal Crown that they put in every single year. I think it's coming at the very, very end of the show. You could tell there's all that scattery, and then they fold into that.
It's become a standard of like the design sort of process of course, is you get your placeholder ending, and then post San Antonio, or in the last 2 weeks, you add your real one.
And it's the same thing. Like they're a little low in general effect right now. They're 5th in general effect, but they're content. They're a 7th in a couple of them. 6th in another one, and then it's the same thing. Like their music proficiency, their visual proficiency. I think that's the piece that they need if they're really, really, really going to jump not only Phantom but even try to touch Devils or SCV, which I just don't think that they can at this point.
Probably not.
I mean, they're at what, an 88.7. They're 2 points. They're full 2 points behind Devils right now. That's a big jump, right? I would say even if because they took 10th in content in their color guards, even if that gets fixed, you know what I mean? They're more reasonable where they are.
All across the board.
That's what
all those little tiny points add up.
Yeah, that's maybe half a point. Even if they go from 10th up to 1st to 5th place where they are, 6th place where they are, that's only half a point.
Yep.
That's a big jump, but it's not enough to clear that 2 point gap. You know what I mean? It will be enough to jump Phantom.
Could be. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely could be. Right,
I-
especially because they've got solid talent this year.
Yeah.
Right, and they're moving a lot.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
moving and playing.
Way more than they
ton.
have. Yeah.
They're not quite achieving it at the level that I think Crown usually, the standard the Crown of the past has held them to, but they're going for it, which I appreciate that.
I think it's a design thing. I think they're very spread and they're being asked to do a lot. So I think I think if you can get them clean enough, they'll be rewarded for what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
But cleaning, that's tough. That's a hard clean.
It is, yeah.
And
Big, large spreads, very orchestral arrangement and composition to their pieces, which is hard to do well on a field because
nowadays,
like a brass choir, a horn line is not. It's not always designed for those sort of orchestral approaches, right? And Crown loves to do that,
and then drumcorify it the best that they can, right? Here's the thing. I'll say this every time I watch a show, I'm into it, and then the friggin' ballad comes up, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, we were just saying.
It's so
because we just
long.
watched it. I think it was the last show that we watched.
So
before.
long and so boring. And
Crown, I think their show is better than last year, or even maybe even 23's.
I agree.
But it feels like it comes in waves. They'll have a moment where you're like, oh, thank God, Crown is back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they'll have like a big minute and a half long stretch where I'm like, nothing's happening.
Yes. Yeah.
The whole top of their ballad. They all come into pods and have the person get the horn up and they run around. The entire time I'm like, none of these melodies are interesting enough for them to justify just kneeling in a pod for 45 solid seconds straight.
It's a lot.
Nothing else going on.
I get pacing.
It's not interesting enough.
Yeah, I get pacing. There's better ways to do pacing than what they're doing. You do have to give people a break. You can't just ask them to go for 11 minutes straight, right? It's impossible.
But you have to still
it's not impossible.
It's hard. Well, actually, Crown's done that before.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
but
hard.
Also, it's not always the smartest approach.
I don't think so effective. At all. I don't think it's especially with drum corps the way it is nowadays. I don't think it's the most effective. I do think that sending things in waves up and down is necessary to keep the crowd engaged. You can't just punch people in the face for 11 minutes straight. As fun as that would be.
Sometimes you can.
Yeah.
That's a really hard balance.
Yeah, you just can't do it. So it's the same thing. The ballad is just, God, it's
just slow. And I'm like,
it's like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. It's so freaking long. And I'm like, God. Yeah.
And there have been long ballads in drum corps before. But
with interesting shit in them.
Stuff has to keep happening.
Yeah.
I was talking, because we were all talking about it as we watched the show, and someone pointed out that this is the 10-year anniversary of Inferno, and it's like it feels a little
Inferno-y.
like an homage of sorts, right?
Yeah.
Darker color scheme, like a reddish purplish look.
Right.
I mean, the big drape thing really screams Inferno.
The giant props that are very evil-y,
very kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
But when you compare those two shows, Inferno is a show that's just made of moment after moment after moment.
Yeah.
Right? Of look at this cool thing happening.
Yes.
Like this design, it pulls all your focus to one part and it goes, look at this. Look how cool this is.
Right.
Right? And this show and all of Crown's shows in the past couple of years they're just lacking moments.
Yeah.
I watch it and I see it and I'm like, oh, the brass is moving and they're forming a form. And I'm like, but where's the thing for me to grip onto?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's what's happening right now.
They start to do it a little bit at the end, right?
Yeah.
Right after that big Crown set that they currently have, right?
Oh yeah, the ending's cool.
Then they start doing all this crazy stuff and they break apart. So I'm that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that I don't know why they chose circles to do the things at the end. That's a really weird thing, but just keep doing geometrical stuff. It's geometrical, aggressive
all the
rotations and everything else.
All the times where they up the speed a little bit and let their members finally start to move, unlike last year.
Yeah,
those moments I'm like, that's when it feels like Crown is back.
Yeah.
Right, they're doing something cool. They got this cool, intense classical music going.
Yeah.
Those are great, but it just they still feel too far and few between.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean, so that's Crown. I mean, here's the thing. So let's talk about Phantom, right? Because they're the ones that they got to catch, and they've been flip flopping, right?
Yeah.
Most of the season. I think that they placed them exactly where they needed to be. And this is the last thing I'll say about Crown. I watched the show, and any of the close ups you watch on the show, I don't know if you noticed or not, but everybody looks dead in the face. There's no emotion. There's no even like, I can't wait to perform this next section. There's no intensity. There's no energy. It's just, there's just,
it's funny because
there's just dead dudes' faces, even in the drum line.
it's funny because in previous years, Crown would look like that. I don't know if I told the story of when I at San Antonio in 17. I passed my seat partner and I passed by Crown. We'd like just finished the show. We got our stuff back to the trucks. We're walking back and we pass Crown in their twos, and it's just a caravan of corpses, just completely dead inside.
Yeah,
as the horn line's
just
going
smoked. Yeah.
But then they get onto the field and they do the most impressive brass show that I've ever seen live.
Right.
Right. You can get away with that if your technical execution is really solid.
Yeah.
But like when the technical execution is leaving a little to be desired, and then the camera pans in and is close up, you're like, yeah, it doesn't look like they're enjoying themselves that much.
Yeah.
And as a result, kind of similar thing that we talked about Cavaliers last year. It's like when if it feels like the members aren't buying in, it's hard for the audience to buy in.
It's hard to,
they're going to sense that.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just a vibe and an energy thing.
Now,
Phantom
on the complete opposite end, again, Phantom, I think, is once again this year doing exactly what they should be. They're slowly accruing more and more actual talent, right, in terms of the technical execution, and they're just giving them a really fun, cool show to do.
There's a lot of really cool, there's really neat things in the crowd.
Again,
probably I said this a little bit about Blue Knights, but I think the Phantom, the first 2 minutes of Phantom does it for me.
Kicks ass.
It is so
the opening 2 minutes,
powerful and beautiful and impressive.
Yeah,
from a horn line's perspective.
This is kind of a big year for like spiritual successor sequel shows.
Yeah,
because people point out this feels very much like a lot of the Phantom and All White years of the around the 2010 era, and specifically, it kind of feels like an Into the Light sequel.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. That kind of feel. There's similar kind of music. There's nice like all white uniforms.
Yeah, the all white everything is super cool.
It's a really crisp look.
Yeah,
and it's great.
I really dig it.
And I love it because it feels like Phantom.
Yeah.
Right.
And a special shout out to the support staff, because I know there's people out there doing hella work in the laundry department to keep all that stuff clean. So
in a basin with a washboard.
Thanks all the moms and dads out there doing that hard work, because we don't give you guys enough credit.
Yeah, all the band parents keeping those uniforms nice and white and shiny,
sharp, man.
After
they look good.
After one show, or like one week of performing, you're like, this is not white anymore.
It's just disgusting. But they look great every single week. So for all the white uniform cores out there, special shout out to you guys for doing
polish and keep white shoes clean on tour. It's a nightmare.
I can imagine.
I hated it.
I did it in high school. I wore white shoes in high school. It was terrible.
But just imagine you're marching 5 times as many shows, and you don't get to go home where you have like normal cleaning supplies. You just have to get a magic or like a Mr. Clean magic eraser and just scrub the toes and be like, "Are you sure that doesn't look like crap?"
Exactly. So listen, Phantom has. It's like I said, it's the same thing the last 2-3 years now. They have everything that they need to be successful. They are putting on fan favorite type shows.
Yeah.
Their ending, their new ending. I'm not sure if you did, because we didn't get a chance to watch San Antonio.
Ooh, no,
it's a slow ending. I don't love it.
Slow as in like it's a down ending, or is it
the old ending, which is like that big power chord, and they were just kind of done, and then they all just kind of run in behind the curtains again, and they just kind of hide.
And it feels very Into the Light,
yeah, and just kind of hide away. It's neat from an atmospheric standpoint,
but it feels. It feels like they need a little more power at the power chord, a little more excitement in order to justify.
Yes, and then they just kind of they do what they do, and the ending is good. It's not great. It's good. And then I'm like, I just want a little bit. I was like, give me just a little bit more.
A little more
before
you do that,
the opposite direction, which is not bad. It's just, it's a personal opinion. It's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's also, like you said, you need to earn your down ending.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite down endings is Knights 2015.
Okay.
But it's a lot of people's favorite closer. Right. They love that piece. You're running. It's a really cool Eric Whitaker piece. And it's a nice big bombastic ending, and then they go into the ending with the Beatles. They earn that slow ending by having a nice big, an ending that could stand on its own. It's loud.
My favorite ones Boston 18.
Yes,
I love that ending.
Definitely.
Shout out, Luke.
Yes.
And
Another one where they earn it because they're
it's just
hauling.
God, that whole show is so crazy, and then they just go and they hide, and it's the most. There's this beautiful soundscape that's happening in the pit, and they're just playing it off. And
Yeah.
it's like there's such a good story in that show, and then they give it to you, and you're like, okay, great, I get it. So I feel like with the Phantom show, it's the same thing. If I felt like if I understood the story that they're trying to go with,
Story.
but there is no story. There's no title. It's nothing, right?
What they're
It's
giving you is honest and open.
It's a chance to fill in the blank with whatever you want, which
Yeah.
again, it's super neat.
It's just, the designers were sitting around. They had a big whiteboard with 50 names on it, and we're like, actually, we're gonna make the audience do the work for this one.
You guys love us so much, you name it. And we're tired.
you come up with a good name for it.
Look, I wrote all this
Poindexter?
drill. I wrote all this drill. Wrote this music. Why
I
don't
already
you do
put
some
in a
work?
lot of work. Why don't you do something, audience?
Yeah, jeez, so man, you sit there and you just watch this and you don't do anything.
Yeah.
Do your job. Right.
Which is why I have officially named the Phantom Regiment 2025 program Laundry Block.
Great. I love it. It's the most accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean is the Laundry Block sponsored by Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway. So listen. So
all right.
let's get into the
Let's get
fun,
into
the fun stuff
3
right now.
and 4, right? The spot, the two cores duking it out for a medal, a spot on the podium.
Yeah.
Blue Devils in 4th place since the first time since 1993, I think we said earlier.
Yeah.
And
I actually do want to correct that. They got 4th place in 2005.
Yeah, that's what I said. See, I told
Okay,
you.
yeah,
I did
you
say
did, yeah.
05. Yeah.
Well, wait.
But that wasn't at finals, though,
not
was it?
at finals or no?
Yes, their final placing was.
At finals.
They got two. I need to triple check this, but 2005 because that was the door.
the zone.
Right?
Yeah.
The
where
zone.
Cadets was not going to be beaten by anyone that year.
Right, and then they still had like. I know Cavaliers also had a good show that year. I think that was
I
last.
was in the middle of the dynasty. Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, and obviously the most credible source out of
They
everything.
fact check their stuff better than most websites these days. Who got 3rd that year?
Cavaliers.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Or
I will
no,
get back to you.
Cavaliers got 2nd that year, I think.
2005,
SCV?
4th place Division 1 finalist with a 95.25, the Blue Devils.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you on the
I think
full.
it was Cadets,
SCV or something.
Cavaliers, and then I don't think it was SCV. It might have been.
Who would have been in 2005?
I don't know. Everybody's in the comments right now typing furiously,
like,
you
you
punks,
don't
you don't know. Exactly. Anyway, all right. So
first off, congrats SCV.
yeah.
Like first time beating Devils since 2018. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like,
yeah, I would say.
I'm
so.
sure it. Like
Listen, they're both.
It's a testament to Devils to how the reputation that they have built of consistency and quality. Right. But they are kind of like the standard of like if you beat Devils, that's a
that's
a big achievement.
Well, it's the same thing we're talking about. You need something, especially when your show is so difficult, like the SCV is, because that show is crazy difficult.
Oh my God.
And when you have that, you have to have a reason to keep pushing, right? And the fight for the podium this year is going to be their push, and I think they can do it. Their show is more technically engaging and difficult than the Blue Devils show, and
way more.
But it's been more dirty, right? But it's been more dirty because it's been more difficult, which is the way you kind of make championship shows, right?
Yeah.
You have to come up with something that's extremely difficult and ask your members to perform and to do the things you're asking them to do, right? And we're really forgetting the biggest reason why they're in 3rd place, Pipe Arm Man.
Pipe Arm Man.
Pipe Arm Man is
the
obvious.
GE machine.
The GE machine.
Yeah. What's he got in those pipe arms? GE.
It's obvious, 100%. So and I really thought going into San Antonio, was it Denton was the show beforehand, going to Denton or San Antonio, that Blue Devils, they had like 6 days off. That they were going to spend time and fix their closer. And they were going to not fix it, but like just do something else, right? They're kind of falling short. Their closer, they have that big star pattern. They're inside all the chairs. And then like they did this like we saw filler closer, right? Where they just kind of pushed to the front they did the Blue Devils ending.
Yeah.
Where they pushed to the front of the chairs and they just play a big chord. I'm like, okay, cool. That's just for right now, right? Let's figure it out. And historically, they kind of walk into San Antonio or even Atlanta with a new change, and they have this big gap. They're only doing 19 shows this year. They're besides the smaller cores that don't.
Yeah,
go out
of like
later,
the big name cores.
Of the top, I would say probably top 8 cores. They're doing the least amount of shows, right? And so they should have enough time to clean. They should have enough time to add and produce those, and they just really haven't added anything. And I don't know if that was the plan all season, but that's never their plan. Their plan is always to add something. So I'm very curious this week, to see if maybe they just went, hey guys, we don't have the closer quite where we want it yet. Let's bring it out in Atlanta. Let's bring it out that regional, right? Because they don't bring it out in Atlanta. There's no way they're going to. I say they stay solidly in fourth place.
Yeah.
I don't see them.
It would be,
because there's nothing overly difficult. I enjoy their show quite a bit, and you know how hard that is for me to say.
I think it's the most accessible and like generally effective show. I mean, like I said, I'm a Blue Devils lover, but like in terms of like shows that you can just watch and be like, oh yeah, I get this, and it's cool.
Yeah.
Right. Easily the most accessible one they've had.
Yeah.
I think you could show this. This is maybe also, you know, a detriment, but like if you're not looking real close, I think you could show this to someone. If you like, you know, change the uniforms, they didn't look like Blue Devils. You show to them, and they wouldn't necessarily be able to tell you that it's the Blue Devils.
Yeah.
Right. It's a more. It feels like the level of accessible design that a lot of other cores would do.
Yeah.
Right. It's not the usual like. It's a show about art. You know,
yes.
that Blue Devils tend to do. That I like.
So,
I like it when they do it well.
So high end stuff that people
right.
just don't understand most of the time.
And it kind of still is beneath the surface, but it's not. The accessibility is not bogged down by the headiness and sort of intellectualism,
right.
That Blue Devils tries to, you know, put in there in previous years.
Yeah,
and I think it makes it a more enjoyable show. You know, I like it. Again, still. It's not as clean and not as undeniably like dominant competitively, but I think I enjoyed it more than 22 or 23. You know, when they were solidly, completely undefeated.
You know, they were terrible shows. They were terrible shows.
Not terrible shows.
They're terrible shows. I hate those shows. The dirty desk show. Get out of here.
I know that you. I know you hate this show. I don't hate them, but anyway. I didn't enjoy them that much.
Yeah. It's funny. I was talking to you know, obviously we have a friend that's marched, two or three people that are marching there. I talked to Adam Brandt's mom last night at the show. She was there, and she was like, I was really worried to watch your recap show because I know how you feel about the Blue Devils. She's like, but it was all positive. And I was like, yeah, because it's a good show. I'm like, it's an enjoyable, accessible show.
It's a good one.
Yes, it's very good.
I am very, as much as I'm sure they're probably not that happy with their placement because why Blue Devils
let's say the championships or nothing. Yeah.
And you never want to get knocked off a podium spot, right?
Yeah. Or to be the core that historically really hasn't been knocked off, but more than twice in the last 40
I know,
years
right?
Almost,
like,
you know,
2 years in a row, like, you know, if I was the people up top at Blue Devils, I'd be starting to swipe like, you know, what's happening here?
There's that crazy stat that they put up during their flow marching thing. They haven't been out of 5th place since 1975.
That sounds all right.
That's ridiculous, right? I mean, it's absurd, you know.
Yeah.
It's a wild statistic.
Yeah.
And you know, and to be fair, like they're just good every year, right? I never
They're still
knock
great
the quality.
this year.
I never knock the quality of the Blue Devils, right? They're just good.
Yeah, and they've got a certain.
I think their guard is doing really well though right now, aren't they? Their guard's in first place.
Let's check. Not first, but I think their Blue Devils guard is doing well. They're second in achievement in a very.
So here's the thing. There's that goofy judge that
no one's touching Coates or Boston color guard.
No. Yeah, well, they're back and forth because Coates won color guard.
Yeah.
So, which is crazy.
Yeah,
anyway,
we talked about Blue Devils for a bit. Let's talk about SCV because some of the captions for SCV are wild.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
As we talked
They're
about
all
before,
over the place.
I think both of us would agree on this. SCV has a crazy, dense, and very well performed brass book.
Yeah.
And the most complex and difficult visual book from like a variety of movement standpoint.
Yeah.
Alongside marching of anyone.
They're
in the
second.
top.
They're second in brass right now.
Yeah. Right.
Wild.
Which like so.
And Blue Coats
we
are third,
just
which is crazy.
I know, right? It's another. It feels like 19 again.
Yeah.
I remember 19 being like, I didn't know a year could be this good for brass.
Right.
We watched some videos of Blue Coats in a lot, and I was like, that's a Jim Ott winning horn line.
Yeah.
And they're in third.
Yeah. Wild.
Right? Crazy.
And I wonder if they're in third right now because of the cleanliness factor. but
Maybe.
they're getting third
I
in
feel like they sound so clean in the field, though.
but
still.
they're getting third in content. Now, so here's the thing:
Yeah.
is that they do. And
again,
sound,
these are all. I think these ones are all close enough that these sub captions could flip.
Oh, absolutely.
By finals for sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So SCV, just to go through it because there's some wild stuff in here. Almost across the board, third or fourth in general effect.
Yep.
First place in visual proficiency content.
Yeah.
Which I think is 100% earned.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're asking the members to do a lot. Right.
Yep.
Fifth in achievement.
Right.
Which I think is maybe a little harsh.
First place in visual proficiency.
Visual
Yeah,
proficiency
for
in the
content. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
First place in a
Right.
sub caption.
Yeah, their stuff is crazy.
Right.
Right. But then
second in visual analysis content, their
color
guard is dragging them down a bit.
seventh. That's another thing. Here's the
Eighth
thing.
place color guard with a third place
Whoever
score.
it is, I don't know, Jan Oswald, whoever it is.
Jan Oswald. Yeah.
I don't know who this judge is. I mean, she's obviously good at what she does because she's a DCI judge.
Yeah, probably knows more than me about color guard.
But these scores are all over the place.
They're
I
all
don't
over the
understand
place,
how
which
you're
I kind of
looking
love. I don't know.
It's interesting. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, right. Like going down the placements of cores just by their color guard ranking. Second, first, eighth, third, fourth, seventh, fifth, sixth, 10th. Not like
ninth, 14th. Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's really
and it's weird because there's like, oh, this is really great content, but you're an absolute dog water at doing it. I'm like, well,
yeah,
okay. Or hey, guys, you're really good at what you're doing, but the content is dog water. You're like, so like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
This is one of those things
I'd love
where
to hear some tapes from color guard.
If this judge shows up again, it'll probably be like this, right? Because this makes sense, right? But any other judge that falls into there probably bumps SCV up a little bit because there's no way that SCV is sitting in third place right now consistently.
Yeah, it's tricky
because it's
like
that's color guard.
That has
but then,
happened before. I mean, Crown famously for years
visual
would
proficiency is their first in visual proficiency content,
which includes color guard. Yeah,
right. So okay,
right.
What are we
visual
talking about? Visual
proficiency analysis is a whole
so that
whole package
doesn't
deal.
make any sense. So that judge is obviously seeing a significant amount of content in visual in what's going on.
A lot of it will just come down
judge.
to like, what does this specific judge value in a color guard or a percussion or a general effect, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why you see like they're consistently getting third and fourth in GE, and then one judge is like, you're actually sixth place.
Yeah, right.
okay, dude, dang.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then SCV's percussion, second place overall, but definitely still
they're in the hunt,
in the running. Yeah,
listen,
right. I mean,
they're going to be
0.1 behind Boston.
Yeah, they're going to be in the hunt, and it's fun to see Boston in first place in percussion because they were so close last year.
Yeah, I would love for Boston to win a Sanford.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, honestly, they're cruising along to win pretty much everything right now. Right? I mean, they're pretty close.
All right. Anything other? I think this feels like a good. This feels like a good segue. Anything else about SCV?
Here's the thing. SCV for me is just all about cleanliness. If they clean it up, I think. What's the gap right now? Oh, man, 2 points.
Absolutely no shot they're catching Boston or Coates. I think they could close the gap
but here's
and
the thing.
solidify their third place, but it's just not.
Because if you change that color guard and you give that half a point back that they lost by being in seventh place,
it's not. Maybe, maybe.
I mean,
but like
it's
they're not closing a 2 point gap. I just think they're got really good.
At Boston is at 18-4. They got a 17-1. So that's a point.
Extreme.
That's a point. That's 1.3. That's a lot. Now I'm not saying they're going to gain that much, right? That's just in that color guard caption. I'm not saying they're going to gain a whole 1.5 on that, right? But if they come into a true third place color guard, they're going to gain a whole point. That puts it pretty close.
They're not going to get up to a third place color guard, though.
I mean,
I highly doubt that gap is going to be closed. Yeah,
I don't know, man. You know what it is? I'd like to look at the other captions from the other thing. I don't think they're going to be. Yeah. They're going to be BD because BD's color guard's really good. Also,
though, the numbers don't work that way entirely.
I mean, I get it too.
I mean, quick math thing. Not to be a math guy about it, but like, let's add up all the visual subcaptions are each graded out of 20. You've got 3 different subcaptions. That adds up to 60, but it's graded out of 30.
Right.
So really, if they're gaining a point in visual, they may be getting half a point.
Right. So you're right. Maybe they're just
the
solidifying.
fun score math that you have to do when you're like, how much would you actually gain?
Yeah.
We did that a lot in in 2023 when we got 99, and we were like, what captions could we have like bumped up a little bit to like break the record?
Yeah.
And it was none of us could figure it out. We were like, I don't know how any of these things add up and then divide. It makes no sense.
Right. So, but anyway, yeah. So I think that's fine there. So
while we're on the topic of Vanguard color guard, throughout the entire season, so the last time they had BD and Boston at the same show, which not Denton, but back in the Rose Bowl, they were still about, even though they got third, they were still almost a half point behind the Blue Devils in color guard. So it's not like it's not a weird thing with this judge. They have been their color guard has been a wider than preferred gap, I would say, for most of the season.
Right. Gotcha. So they're the ones really. So if BD catches them,
the color guard's getting a stern talking to.
So they're probably getting a stern talking to right now.
Probably
to get their stuff.
I mean, I imagine I tell the story before, like nights when I marched nights and we got to San Antonio, our color guard 13th, and we were like, yeesh.
Yeah.
What happened, guys?
And really, when things like that occur, I really think it boils down to. There's probably many different factors, right? But I really think it boils down to one thing, and that is, how is the staff engaging with the member, right?
Yeah.
Are they, because everybody wants something different, right? That's what true leadership is understanding what somebody needs and providing it for them as a leader, right? If this person needs this thing and that person needs that thing, you have to, as a leader, as a staff person, be able to give them both of those things in a way that works. You have 36, 40 guard members. What are they looking for? Do they want to be motivated through push and pain, or do they want to motivated through, come on guys, we want to not hold the core back? Like, there's all these different techniques, right? That you can use. And oftentimes I find that when there is a core that is struggling from the rest of the core, it's oftentimes because the staff in the section that is struggling hasn't quite figured out how to motivate that part of the core. Yeah. It's not like SCV is a bad core. Obviously, they have top tier members.
It's not like it's not like they're not going to draw a good color guard.
Yeah, exactly. They have good members. So what is it? So it's the content's not there and the achievement's not there. Is the content not there because they've been watering it down, or because the staff hasn't provided them with good content, right? Or is it the members just aren't performing it because they're either not good enough or because they're just not motivated enough to really want to just to rise to the challenge of what's been going on. And I believe wholeheartedly, if you do drum corps, you are prepared to rise to the challenge. That is what you want as
especially
a member.
in any top level drum corps. Right?
Every member. I think 16th all the way up, even the kids that are doing, Division 1, Division 3 type core stuff, right? You want to be challenged. You want to be the best, but you don't know how to do it yet, especially when the younger cores, right? You're just trying to figure that part out. So, like, you may have a bunch of members that still they're good, but they haven't figured out how to be motivated yet, and they're just not quite there. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it, because I'm always big on leadership and motivation. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's get into the good stuff. The good stuff. The
final two.
The final two.
Right.
So
the big ones. So, Coates in Boston.
Back and forth.
Pretty back and forth, but also like a 0.5 gap. A 0.4 gap. It's definitely closable, but like not not what I would call at this point neck and neck.
Here's what I would say that too is that just a week ago, Blue Coats beat them.
Yep.
So I look at that and I go,
definitely potential swing back and forth, especially like as we get into like this final. They're both so clean. They're both so good and so clean that like these final weeks and tweaks, right? The things that they're going to add in, or the things they're going to clean up, are like so essential at this point.
The other crazy thing I don't think we've said yet is that Boston posted a higher score. This is the highest score in San Antonio history than Blue Coats last year. I like Boston's show.
I think it's a great show.
Who is judging these guys? Because Blue Coats last year's show was feels next level.
It feels like the same thing that, like, as much as I love this show and it's one of my favorites, it feels like the same thing that led to like Fellini-esque getting a 99.65.
It's just so much content.
It's a bunch of content, but it's so many people. A, it's getting pushed up by the cores below them being good,
right? And
B, it's like a bunch of individuals are like, this is a little higher score than I would normally give, but I think it earned it in the scoring like pattern that I've already set out would kind of dictate that I give them this.
Right.
And then you have enough people do that and you get a near 100%, right? Or you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the highest score in San Antonio history.
Right.
Because, again, I do love Boston's show this year. And it's weird to say this when we've just been talking about how competitively solid the show is. It is not, I don't think it's like, it's not one of those shows that's like an event.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
They're like
yeah.
Bluecoats last year.
God.
Or SCV in
18.
2018.
Yeah,
Or even
God.
like you'd say like Crown in 13, right?
And
One of those
even-
big years. Or
Even
Cadets
the
in 2005.
Even the Fellini-esque show, because
Right.
I know how much you guys love that stuff.
Yeah, right. It's
You know?
one of those shows that like it comes out and you're like,
Whoa.
how could anything
Exactly.
stand up to
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah,
It's one of those things that like solidifies itself in time, right?
Yeah,
permanently.
Yeah, it's in the Drum Corps Hall of Fame trophy
Yeah,
of
right?
champions. You know,
I
like,
think Boston's show is awesome this year, but I don't.
I don't find it. No, it's great.
I don't think it quite.
it's
Yeah,
great.
I don't think
It's-
it quite
it
reaches
came
that
out-
level.
It came out super hot. It came out super clean, and
Super
they're-
talented. Yeah,
every member in that corps
Very
is
fun.
unbelievably talented.
yeah.
And the show is fun. I wish it was a little bit more fun. I wish it was a little bit more like last year's show.
With a little like
A little
little more camp.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Boom. You know?
I know, right? And it's
the
a
graphic is very campy,
and it's like
you know?
a timepiece like era's show. Like, so much opportunity for camp. And there is camp in there.
Yeah, there is. It's a couple
It's
cool
fun.
parts, but I think I just want a little bit more of it.
Yeah,
You know,
I can see that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just me, and you know, it's a cool. Like I said, I hope that it not change the closer, but the last
Add a
few
little
moments.
something.
Yeah, they're going to add a little something to the last
Yeah.
few moments to really give it the last
Yeah.
pieces that it needs. I think it doesn't end quite with enough boom.
Yeah.
So
There is absolutely something more coming.
oh yeah,
There's no way they're gonna name a show Boom and then not
And
end
not
with a
set off
boom.
an actual bomb on the field.
Yeah, right. But they did have that. That was one of their first iterations where they went and then they all fell down. Like
Yeah.
that was their first closer piece, which was fun. It was neat.
They're
I was
gonna
like,
bring it
oh,
back.
that's cool. You know, I hope that they do. Honestly,
Much like during the development of the atomic bomb, they're
yeah.
going to have two big explosions.
exactly.
Right, one at
You
the
know?
start of the year, one at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I hope they all just get together in the middle of the thing and they all just fall down.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing.
Right, it's same exact thing as Coates last year.
Yeah, yeah, where
they had they added the tag ending where they ended that big format. It's awesome, and then they
And
just
they
bring it all
come
back in. They
and
bring
play
the
a
Sun Lux.
freaking B flat,
right?
and they're done.
Let's play it right.
Yeah.
To have it circled back.
It's such a cool that's the kind of thing that I want. I need something like that. Oh no,
Yeah, our little guy shoot too. We both saw
Walter
that happen.
Walter, no.
I think Boston and Bluecoats are in a very similar position this year.
Yeah.
They've both got really good shows. They're not quite like those legendary shows that you see come around every once in a while, where they're both solid, they're really enjoyable, and they are just performing the hell out of
Yeah,
them.
it's
Like some of the kind of cleanliness that is usually only reserved for like BD.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
that every once in a while crazy good championship shows. And now I've got two of them just duking it out.
yeah, it's
Right.
I watched so I got a chance to see the Blue Coat show last weekend. A couple days ago, whatever it was, when it finally hit flow marching, because the first time it was going to be on, or the second time it was going to be on flow, it got rained out. So I got to see the closer for the first time. Have you actually watched the closer yet?
I have not. I mean, you
Dude,
told me about it.
It is a million miles an hour, and it is wild what they are asking their members to do, and the fact that the members are still doing it.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it now. Like,
Yeah.
It was like the first half of it was very new Blue Devils, or excuse me, new Blue Coats, where it was like, you know, all this like soundscape stuff and like pockets of things, and then all of a sudden the end closer was like, whoa, drum corps exists again on the
Yeah,
field.
I
And you're
don't-
just- it's wild. It is wild.
I'm trying to look at the visual proficiency.
It's up there. It's second or third, I
Crazy.
think, right?
Yeah, I mean they're on almost every subcaption. They're just trading first and second back and forth. A couple of like, I can't believe Boston's color guard was in third place, but that's also
Wild.
that's the craziness of. I think this, like we said, this one particular judge is there's a lot of switch
Yeah.
placements, so we'll see if that holds true. Right, but for almost everything, they're swapping back and forth. I'm a little surprised. I would have, based on what I've seen about Boston's and Blue Hood shows, I would have flipped this. A lot of the achievement for Boston is in first place, and their content
Yeah.
is in second place.
Right.
Which I guess makes
No,
sense.
that makes sense.
Coates has a denser, and I think at times more challenging show. But
Yes.
also, like,
This show's
like you
very
said,
challenging.
they're performing crazy good.
Yeah.
I think we both kind of predicted this with when we talked about one of our many 2025 predictions shows, where sometimes a core will come around and they'll have a championship show like Coates did last year. And it's a championship show because the stars align where they have a really good show design, maybe one they've been saving in the back pocket for a year like this, right? Really good show design, and a core that is 60% age outs.
Yeah, right. Just
Right?
monsters.
When they do that, they have this great show, and then the next year, they haven't built a
off.
sustainable program. And suddenly all their age outs are gone, and they have to rebuild their core, and they try and ask the members to do too much, and you get a Coach
Right.
17 kind of effect
Yeah,
where
and-
it's
or-
just
or-
too hard of a show.
Or a Crown 14.
Right?
Type
Or
thing.
Crown 14.
Yeah.
SCV not as much in 19, right? But similar kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? I think I got the impression last year, and it seems to be holding true. I was like, it doesn't seem like Coates did that, where they just banked on having a bunch of age outs that can
Here's the thing.
march
They
the show
did-
really well.
They were in second place for 4 consecutive seasons.
They've
So
been
it's not
building
like
a
they're-
super strong, consistent
They
program.
have a great program. They have an incredible program. And I think they do all the right things with their members.
Yeah.
And they do all the right things with their staff. They're not just building members, they're building staff.
Yep.
That's the other really impressive thing about their organization is that they've been really building
Yeah,
staff.
they're building everyone in the
Yes.
structure from top
Yeah,
down.
they are going to be an undeniable force for years to come.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have figured that whole thing
Yeah.
out.
Well,
and
'cause
honestly, I
for
think they're-
like-
they're just kind of following the Blue Devils. That's kind of what the Blue Devils have done for the last 30 years. That's what
Yeah,
they do.
in terms of just like solid, dependable, reliable structure.
Yeah. It's just structure. It's internal structure. They're doing really good. And
especially in world class. It's like you can get great members. They're not going to stick
Yeah.
around for a few years at most, right?
Yeah,
You
so-
got to get great staff that will continuously attract the same kinds of members, so that you can keep doing what you're asking them to do.
and have a well balanced rotation of members coming in and going out. Right. When you
Yep.
have 600 people auditioning for your drum corps and you can only take 165 or whatever.
600 is a low estimate for Blue Coats as well.
You're
I think it's
probably
probably
right.
like
Probably
1,200 or something.
You're probably right. I mean, like
600 like viable candidates. That's probably
because
more
you're
accurate,
probably
yeah.
if there's 1,200, 600 of them are probably high school kids. that are
Every
just sending
single high
tapes
schooler
in.
on the planet is like, I've marched my first year on flugelhorn, and I think I'm going to go out for Blue Coats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
so-
power to those kids, but
Yeah,
you know,
should because
Exactly,
We
yeah.
say that all the time in all of our episodes, like go audition, right? But
go try it.
but-
You're going to
but,
learn something cool.
You know, your $200,
Right.
$300 you're going to audition with, right? That's a camp fee for you to learn, not
Yeah,
for you
right.
to make the core, right?
Yeah. When it comes down to it, right? Any staff member of any of those top cores could go in and just from setting the horn arc,
Yeah,
just,
you can
just
tell.
from calling standby, they could cut a third of the auditionees that are there,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
not
yeah.
more,
Yep, I agree.
right? Because it's just when you get a popular enough core, you're gonna have
Yeah.
level
Blue Devils have been
you
doing
just-
that
yeah.
for years and years and years.
you're
know?
like,
Yep.
we can already tell. Really, it's gonna be the group of people that we're picking from.
So
Anyway, yeah, side tangent, but
but yes, yeah. So I think, man, I can see this going both ways. I'd love to see Boston win. I'd love to see Boston win a championship. But also, I feel not I feel bad for Blue Coats. They won last year. They had a great show.
yeah,
right? Obviously, I don't
they
feel
won
bad for
last year, and they're gonna
and
get
they've
silver
medaled,
or gold.
and they've medaled the last 4 years before that as a second place medaler. So like that's incredible. But it's almost like you got second place for so long. I kind of want you to have first place a few times, you know. But on the flip side
It
of that,
would be cool.
I
I mean-
want Boston to win their first championship.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be?
Right.
You know?
Either way, we're getting something cool, right? We're getting
Yeah.
Boston winning its first championship,
Yeah.
which would be awesome, and it is kind of what I am hoping to have happen, just because I like seeing new cores get new captions and championships.
It breeds the competition. Yeah.
But if Blue Coats wins, that's the first time we've had a non-Devils two-peat since what, Cavies in the 2000s?
Yes.
They had
that's
a
correct.
three-peat,
Yeah. Yep.
right? That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
It's
I guess
again
you're right.
cool
Wow.
to right. Cool. It would be cool to see a core build that kind of consistency that's not Devils or Cavaliers back in the Dynasty era,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To have like
Or even
I think
because before that it would have been Cadets. They
like
won
cadets in like the 80s or something. or
90s.
90s.
They won
Yeah,
two.
90s.
They won, no, they didn't win 2 in a row in the 90s.
really?
But in the
Must
80s.
have been the
they
80s,
did.
yeah.
So wow, yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I guess I never really thought about
Yeah,
it that
right?
way. That's pretty
And especially
crazy.
the first new core to get a two-peat.
Yeah, in a long
Right?
time.
In a long
So-
time.
Oh, here we go.
Here's something interesting to add.
Yeah.
And I know we already talked about that Vanguard is kind of almost solidly locked in the third. If
Yeah.
Vanguard does something incredible and pulls out a win, if you don't count the random concert bass drums that Crown had in 2013, they will be the first core to win a championship without props since 2011.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, Crown didn't really have. They had the bass drum things.
Wait,
really props.
Crown didn't win in 2011.
No, 2013.
Oh, 13. Yeah.
Because he said if you
And-
don't count the base run props in 2013.
Oh, right.
Which
I
almost
don't.
kinda
I
don't count.
No, I don't count those. Because
I feel like they count.
They were an instrument.
I feel like they count as much as the pipe arms do. Or the big lily pad
Yeah,
things.
yeah, exactly,
But
yeah.
either way, that's still a really long time.
Yeah.
Right.
I
And
wonder.
even, honestly,
Jack, maybe you look it up too. When was the last time somebody medaled with no props?
yeah.
Because it
That'd
probably
be
would have
interesting.
been.
That'd be a harder one to
Yeah,
research,
probably
but definitely.
actually find out. But yeah.
Right? And even Boston, like, pretty minimal props this year. They got
Yeah.
the big Atom things, and those are cool.
Yeah.
But like, they're not. It's not that trend of like bigger, badder props every
Yeah,
year.
I mean,
you know?
BD's props this year, by the way, super cool. I really like their
Great,
props.
yeah.
Better than that.
I don't hate
stupid-
props. I just want to see more variety. Right.
Yeah. We say this all the time. Like, I
Yeah.
like consistent, very cleanly looking props. That's why I like BD's props. I like Phantom's props this year. They have those big cylindrical
Yeah.
rollers. I love the fact that they integrated those into their drum major podiums too. Super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's neat. So to wrap it all up, I think if Blue Coats can clean up their show, they have a very good chance of beating Boston.
Yeah. Which is wild because it's already so crazy clean.
And I
both of them
think-
are so clean.
I think Boston, I don't know what they need to do, but I think they got to find some other way to take it to the next level. I don't know what that
Yeah,
level
if they want to
I don't know what, I don't even know what that level
safely
is.
secure that first place spot.
Because here's what's wild about it is that we've been talking for years. The reason why Boston places as high as they do is because of their color guard. But their color guard's in third right now.
Yeah, right.
So,
Well, I think. And let me check. Second.
Okay.
Third in achievement though.
right, which is wild.
It's still
You
that's
it's still
still
early.
a
It's still
top
early
top
season.
class color guard. And oh my god, I'm just looking at the numbers on these. Right, it is wild. So many like high 18s at San Antonio.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Like 18 9s,
Yeah.
18 8s.
Let's also talk about brass for a moment. Boston getting an 18-9 at San Antonio and getting first place in brass is insane.
Yeah.
Coates got an 18-4. I think having a 0.5 split between Boston and Coates brass is ridiculous. That's absurd.
Here's the thing.
Coates brass sounds incredible, and I get Boston's does too, but they should be way closer.
Maybe they had a bad
18
night. Maybe it was a bad night. Maybe it was just an off night.
But
you know.
then content should be higher.
I mean, that's
right.
true too. Is it a half point with content?
No, it's collectively just you
Yeah,
add,
no,
it's
but
you
they're-
know
Are they close in content?
it's
It's not
a
an achievement.
0.2 difference in achievement and sorry, hon, 0.3 difference in achievement, 0.2 difference in content.
Oh, so they're right
I still
there with
think
content.
that's-
wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Even still, but a 0.5
Yeah.
0.5 gap is I think too much. Coates brass is doing more.
from a difficulty standpoint, from as a marcher and somebody who still performs and with the newer type drum corps, what Blue Coats is doing is so hard. It is so
Mind-boggling, yeah.
mind-bogglingly difficult. And the way that they are spread, where they are at, the drum line at one point is on the front sideline, and the whole horn line is pointing backwards in the back sideline.
Yeah.
And they're playing in time. I don't even understand how it works.
Yeah.
That timing is a nightmare, right? And that right there, that content score should be high solely because of that thing. And I don't really think the brass judges ever really consider that kind of stuff. I think they just look at the book.
I think some of them do, and
I hope that they do.
I think that's one of the reasons Coates won brass last year, because of that difficulty of staging and things like that. They are some members. I think it's so dependent.
This year is so much more difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Absolutely. There's more stuff going on. It's a more dense show.
It's more individual. It's a more individual responsible show because there's so much. It's all these like soundscapey.
Lots of trading off and like multiple.
Yes.
I have no. I would be so interested to see what like the score for this show looks like.
I'm sure somebody will put it out.
Yeah, probably someone will be like, "Here's
but
my
I wanna-
9 trumpet parts."
But
that
I
we have to
feel I was
write."
gonna say like there's probably like 14 mellophone parts at some points.
Yeah.
because they're all the division that they have to split up. Like I want individual member parts. Is what I want. All 84 of them or whatever they are. So yeah. So I mean, look, man, it's a fun show. All the shows are fun this year.
Yeah.
As we
I
go
do.
into wrap up mode.
I think
So.
yeah.
Because if you're still watching this, thanks for staying around.
Yes,
It's a long episode.
a super interesting year. I love seeing all the stuff traded around.
Yeah.
Right. I'm so interested to see who wins what captions.
Yes,
this year.
I'm very interested in captions as well because I think Blue Devils are still close enough to win any one of those things. And
they might have a shot at some captions, but even
here's the thing.
solid third.
I'll
in
tell you this all the
GE.
time. We can go back and look at these types of things.
Fourth in visual.
The amount of times that
That was fourth in visual. What does the world come to?
because here's the thing, they're finally moving this year.
Yeah.
Okay, they're doing more moving than I think they've done in years, and
Fourth in music.
the other thing too is I don't think that they're being challenged visually very much. They're moving more, but the movement is not as challenging as it has been in the past.
And their non-marching movement is not nearly as complex and demanding as it has been in previous years.
I agree with
It's
that,
really
too.
effective.
Yes, very
right? But
effective.
it's not like this is what I always say. Like whenever you would talk about how Blue Devils doesn't do hard stuff, I'm always like I always counter with they're not doing physically demanding stuff, but the technicality of the different types of non-marching movement that they're doing is where they get their difficulty from. This year, I don't think they're doing that as much,
No, that's
right?
probably
And I
why
think it's
showing.
and I think it is in some ways more effective for that, more accessible, right?
Yeah,
But
I mean,
also doesn't give them as much room to grow to, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I think. Ready? Boston gets the
Yeah.
Ott and
Yeah.
gets
And the Sanford,
and the Sanford, but they lose color guard this year.
to maybe Coates.
Maybe Coates.
I think Coates again.
I think they were in first this time.
I think Coates was first in color
I
guard.
can see
Although
their color
again,
guard.
we talked about how this color guard judge is
They're a little more. Yeah, color judges are
Really
a little more
is,
biased
yeah.
one way or the other.
and is all over the place. And so we'll see. All these might hold true. Some of them we're probably going to switch up, right? But Coates just by a hair got first in guard. It'd be cool to see Coates get first in guard. I don't know if they ever have before.
I don't think so. I don't think they.
Because I don't know yet. Because Crown got guard in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they won guard in 19. They probably went to Boston again.
Yeah.
And you had their super strong years. I think last year it was Boston, right?
It was it Devils last year?
I don't think it was Devils.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm not a color guard
Yeah,
guy.
I never
Right?
followed this.
But if
course.
they, I think it would be their first high color guard. I think that'd be, I think that'd be cool for them.
Yeah.
So it'd be really cool to see Boston take both of the music ones, Coates take color guard, and God, I mean Boston's also on track to get like visual and GE. I think Boston's winning GE.
Boston did win color guard last year.
Boston did, yeah, that's what I thought.
That was the only category that Blue Coats lost. Oh no,
Yeah.
and percussion, because
because
SCV took the
took
Sanford.
Park.
Yeah,
Right.
down all the way down in 6th place.
I know.
Wild.
Chad moves.
Wild. Their percussion was all over the place there last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's gonna be funny. I'm looking forward to Atlanta, and then
Yeah.
obviously East. I wish we could go to East. I miss.
I know.
I know.
We have to practice that
Yeah.
day and have our
darn it.
home show.
Yeah. If you're coming to East, you should think about coming out to Downingtown on
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. If you're going to East Friday and Saturday, and you
Yep.
want to see another couple of great world class cores, as well as the Buccaneers
And
perform,
a whole
and
bunch
see what DCI All Age is all about. Stick around through Saturday.
Yep.
It's pretty close to where Allentown is. It's in downtown Pennsylvania. The show is called Big Sounds in Motion. You can just look it up. On
It's on
the DCI website.
Yep.
It's probably the only show happening that day, but because it's
Yeah, I
a
think
Sunday
so.
show.
It's a Sunday show.
But it'll be cool.
Yeah. And you can also come to prelims if you're coming to prelims and semis. If you have a semis ticket, you can come see the DCI All Age stuff too for free. It's part of the
it's
part of the
complimentary.
package.
it's bundled in there with
Yeah.
that, right? So if you're getting
And,
the semis and you're
and
like,
listen-
I'll do lots one day, but maybe the next,
Right.
another day I'll go into the all age and see what these guys are all about.
And I will tell you this is that nobody's coming to see us. So if you have a ticket and it's all the way up in the crappy section, you could probably sneak down up front and see some good stuff.
For
down
all
front.
age,
Yeah.
you can get your face melted off
Yeah.
in that little
in the 50s
sweet
area.
spot.
Yeah, right there in the 240 section. So, come on down. Don't worry. Tell Mike sent you. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
So.
Like, oh, don't worry, the guys from On Cycle sent me. But this way, sir.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, excuse me, velvet rope.
Yeah.
This is a perfect wrap up because I have an answer to your prop question.
Ooh,
So
okay.
the last
question.
DCI world class medalist without props was Carolina Crown 2015 with Inferno.
True.
Oh,
yeah.
Good call.
However, the last drum corps champion without props was Reading Buccaneers 2017. if you want to count that.
Yeah. I mean, we're
I
DCI
do
now.
want to count on
We're DCI now, so let's go.
retroactively DCI
Retroactive.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2017.
So, all right.
Oh,
that's,
what a good show.
yeah, good way to wrap
Maybe
things
we could
up.
have not props next year.
Yeah,
A boy can
right.
dream.
Oh, God, yeah, I can
Yeah.
dream. I was already talking to Steve about that. He's like, "Get ready to build next year." I was like, "I would." No,
Stab me in the
I'm
face.
not. I'm not building. If you see our show this year, I built all those damn props.
Yeah.
So,
They work much better than the previous year's props.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
yeah. So anyway,
Maybe next year you just won't have to build 36 of them.
now there'll be 48 of them next
Yeah,
year.
of course,
you know?
because
It's
they'll be like-
incremental growth.
We learned nothing from 2022. Add more props to the field.
Exactly.
36 props worked last year, so surely 65 of them
Yeah, that makes
will work
sense.
even better.
How many members do we have? It's 128 hands. We're good.
Yeah.
We're fine. So, all right. Anyway, if you're still watching, we're sorry, we're rambling. Make sure
That's
if you
also
haven't,
what you come here for.
you come here for the rambling. If you haven't already, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and do all those fun things. Check out our Patreon. Go back and check out some of our old episodes, and if there's anything you want to let us know about or talk to about, make sure you put it in the comments.
Yeah,
how
we'll
we
have
do
some
it.
more content coming soon as this season goes on. Maybe some more recaps, some more discussions, and things like that.
Some more
Some
reacts.
more React videos for certain. So if you want to see us react to some certain ones, don't worry, we're doing a Blue Coats one soon.
Yes.
We know that you want us to do a Blue Coats one.
Yep.
So do we. We just haven't had a good recording until like 2 days ago.
Yeah, exactly. So that's coming out shortly as well. So we'll throw that down, and you'll
Yep.
see that soon.
All right. So without further ado, though, until next time, off cycle.